What was the best you have no power here moment you have ever seen?
I used to work for a super bad manager when I worked at McDonald's. This guy was horrible to us. He was constantly bullying us, bad-talking us to customers, and doing everything in his power to make us miserable. Well, so many people complained about him that he ended up getting fired. New manager was great. He was super chill and understanding with us all. A couple weeks after he took over, the old douchebag comes in and starts talking about how terrible the store looks, how our service is shittier than ever, and how much this store needs him. The new manager looked at him and said, "If you don't leave, then the cops are going to make you." When the douchebag didn't move, new awesome manager stuck to his guns and called the cops. The douchey is no longer allowed on any McDonald's property in the city and has a restraining order against him.
The first time I had dinner at my parents' house after I got my own apartment. My dad was giving me grief as usual. Finally, I stood up and said, "I don't live here anymore. I don't have to put up with you this way any longer. I'm going home." And walked out. Most liberating moment of my life.
A while back, I got a job as a popcorn monkey in the local cinema, as a temporary thing while I figured out what the heck I was doing with my life. There was a supervisor that had worked there since the site opened, around 5 years, who was a total ass and had had numerous complaints about her from countless staff. In the first week, I nearly quit because of her attitude. As an example, one night I was on a close and basically cleaned the entirety of the front of house on my own. I stopped to take a drink of water, and she marched up to me going, "We don't pay you to stand around drinking, you know." To which I calmly responded that I was thirsty and needed a drink of water, and if she wanted to tell me I wasn't allowed to have a glass of water, then good luck. But I'm pretty sure health and safety would have something to say about that. She huffed about not having had a break all day, which I ignored 'cause not my fricking problem, but internally I was put out about it, because it was totally fricking pointless to be such a twat about things. About 2 weeks in, I get promoted to supervisor, as I was clearly extremely competent by their usual standards. I could walk and fart at the same time, but she also gets promoted to floor manager, so she continues to work her little power trips and try and lord it over me and everyone else. 4 weeks after that, I get another promotion to floor manager, and at this point we're equals, so she can't boss me around anymore. So instead, she tries a different tack, which is to try and lord it over me with her superior knowledge of processes, where to find stuff, etc. My response is to go, "Oh, thanks. That's so helpful. I mean, you know how things work so much better than me because you've been here 5 years and I've only been here 6 weeks. She had a face like a smacked arse. It was delightful.
X and I were moving out after a breakup, cleaning out garage. She was being critical of my post-breakup plan of moving in with a coworker until I could find a better place to live, as most options weren't great. I took a deep breath and laughed. This puzzled her. "Why are you laughing?" she asked. I collected myself and said, "Because this is the last time I have to listen to this. You don't get to be critical of anything I ever do, ever again." It was a really great feeling, because I literally thought of the "you have no power" here as I laughed.
I'm a high school teacher who teaches a lot of senior grades, and so has to deal with graduation grades, references for university, all that jazz. I had a parent of a graduating kid in my classroom in June, after final marks were given to students but not formally reported, who was a dental surgeon in town, ran a large operation, donated a lot to local sports, big man in a small town. I had given his kid a mark in the high B range, and so he marched into my office and started off with the "there must be some mistake" line, which moved swiftly into the "you're going to change it because I tell you to "how much will it cost to get him the A?" When I refused the bribe, he went to "you're fired." Not "I'm going to get you fired," but "you're fired. Clean out your desk." I just asked him to leave. Ended badly. He threatened violence. I reported him to the school admin. He's now banned from the property.
I was waiting for a friend to finish work. She worked at a restaurant so fancy they had someone vetting guests at a podium outside. The place was glitzy, and the folks were glam, so the great and good would descend in droves. Those with a reservation were sent in. Prospective walk-ins had to queue. A car sweeps up. The driver jumps out and holds the door open to unleash a hat and dress. The woman accompanying said finery, a C-list actress from a regional daytime TV show, looked through everyone present and moved to enter. She froze, appalled, when the guest vetter intercepted, asking, "Do you have a reservation?" She mustn't have heard the question because she didn't respond. Instead, she drew herself up to the full height of her couture and demanded, "Do you know who I am?" "Yes," said the maitre d', "back of the queue." Oof,